Hi everyone, Patric here. Welcome to today's training, today's workshop. It is called How to Create a Book. I was dabbling on the title, should I say how to create your book or how to create a book? And I think, hey, it doesn't really matter. So sometimes you may hear me saying how to create your book. Sometimes you may hear me say how to create a book. And this training is going to be something that I find it fascinating because it has been the same strategy that I used to build my digital business. And in this training, we're going to go through three key things, which I'm going to run through with you shortly when I bring out the presentation slide right now. So let me just go ahead and put up the presentation slide. So how to create a book. And like I shared with you, there are going to be three key things that I'll be sharing today. Now, but before that, let me just go through some basic housekeeping about this business. Now, whether you already have an existing digital business or whether you haven't built one yet, it doesn't matter. And this training will be suitable for you. The reason is this: if you haven't created a digital business yet, this can be the one that gets you started. This can be your catalyst. And if you already have a digital business running right now, whether you have a course, whether you have a newsletter or anything, you can add this on towards your existing business and enhance upon it, especially in terms of generating more income to your business. So as I was saying with you, sharing with you, there are three parts in this training. And the first one is called creating the book. So how do you actually create the book itself? Now, note that I did not say how to write the book, right? We're not focusing on that, and I will go more in depth about it shortly. It's about how to create the book so that you can use the book for your business and then book fulfillment. So if you get a sale anywhere around the world, especially in United States, UK, Canada, and so on, how do you actually deliver the book from anywhere you are from? So you could be from Singapore, you could be from United States, you could be from Malaysia, you could be from, I do not know which other country you could be from. You could be from Australia. You could even be from, maybe you could even be from India or Hong Kong, right? So how do you do a global book business for that matter? You need to have a fulfillment system, and I'm going to teach you how to do that very, very specifically, right? And the next thing is creating the funnel and monetization. How do you actually monetize the book? Because the book doesn't make you money. The book itself doesn't make you money. And you understand all of this shortly, but it's about how you use the book to increase your value card so that you'll be able to generate more money whenever someone actually buy the book from you. All right. So the strategy. Now that we know what we're going to be covering in today's workshop, we're going to look into the strategy. For me, when it comes to building a business, what's more important is understanding the strategy and not just focus on the tactical aspect. Now, what is tactical and what is strategy? Let me just put it this way. If you want to win a war, you need to have a strategy. But when you are at the battlefield, when you're doing battles, you need to be tactical to win the battles. So if you want to win battles, you need to be tactical. But if you want to win a war, you need to be strategic. So that is a very basic ideology behind that. And I'm a big fan and student of Sun Tzu Art of War. So you see many of my business apply that elements without directly exposing the strategies for that matter. So the strategy, what is the strategy for this? I mean, we don't want to do something for just trying to make money online, right? Because that's being tactical and that's not going to be long lasting. You want to do something that can continue to generate income for you, build your brand for years to come, right? And to understand a strategy, we got to understand the first part is that this is not about writing the next quote bestseller or becoming an author, right? Now, what do I actually mean in this concept? The first part is that when I say the next quote bestseller, because this is not a training on how to write a book. This is not a training to teach you, how to do writing. like children's book or business book, fiction book, non-fiction book, medical book. We're not doing any of that. So the training, it is not specifically about creating that, because that would be a completely different kind of training. If we look into that, it has nothing to do with funnels and nothing to do with monetization. That's about like how to get a publisher and so on, right? And that require an utmost skill in writing and also creativity. I'm just being like totally blunt with you. That's not going to happen for most people. Although there are a lot of courses and training about how to create your next bestseller, how to create your next best-selling book and things like that. Now, I'm pretty sure that they lay out a very good foundation and a very good tactics and so on. But is it fair for me to say that not everyone is crafted to become a good writer? It's just like, I cannot act. I cannot be an actor. I can't do that, right? So some people just don't have that skill, right? And it's not because that we are not good. It's just that we just don't have that skill, right? And becoming a bestseller would also need to focus on the content intensively and how to help people to achieve their goal through the book. So it's a whole different thing. And we're also not focusing on how to be an author, so to speak, because maybe you're not going to write the book. Again, I'm going to teach you all of this later on, where how you can actually hire someone to help you to actually do the writing aspect. And by default, you will still be an author, but it is just that we're not focusing on how to be an author, because again, that is a different realm and so on. And I got another news to share with you. And since that you are in a closed door training right now, most authors are broke anyway. I don't think you want to fall into that group. If you go to a bookstore, like those thousands of books, most of the books doesn't sell. If you go through like stats, like if you just Google and search how many books an author sell, probably they'll tell you like maybe less than 100 books a year. So imagine if you want to be an author, like write books and to become rich, and you need to sell 100 copies of books, and each book you make about $2-3. That's not even going to pay your electric bill for the entire year, for that matter, for your AC, the air conditioner when you're doing your writing, right? So it's not a feasible model. However, if we don't focus on trying to be a best-selling author, or we're trying to be an author, but we're focusing on how to be more precise and how to build a business by using the book model, then maybe you can be richer for that matter. So this is about building an information product business. Now, what is an information business, information product business? Many people have different names on it. I'm just using the word information product because it's so straightforward, but it can be called the e-learning industry. It can be called the knowledge-based industry, but basically our product is information. So we are not dealing with physical products and so on. Like for instance, I'm looking for something to hold, right? For instance, whatever I can just grab on my table. Like this is some strap, like just like strap the cable, right? What's the function of this? The function of this, it is so that you can tie anything you like to tie, but specifically to tie on cables, wires, so that they don't go, all tangled and so on. So that's the function of this thing. And this is a physical thing. Now, the value of this, I forgot how much it cost me to buy, but maybe $1 or less or more, somewhere around there, right? So we're not interested on this kind of product, although it has a function, which is again to tie the cables, right? So when it comes to information product, the function, it is to provide information or knowledge so that the person, the customer, the consumer, the person who acquire that information product can achieve either one of these things, right? Either this person can solve the existing problem that they have. So let's say they have problem with, I wouldn't use the word problem, it could be some challenges. Let's say they're trying to decorate their house, right? So they need to have some ideas on how to decorate the house to look better. So the information that teaches this person Well, that is the information product. Or someone who wants to find a way on how to reduce his or her mortgage, like, property, real estate, all this kind of stuff, right? So this person will buy information to help him to save tens of thousands. And this person may be willing to pay for $100 or $200 for that information, right? So that is the business that we are in. And when it comes to information, because we are not selling physical product, it is all delivered digitally. And when we are doing that, it means that we have zero cost, production cost, as in like, this needs to be produced in some kind of factory or manufacturing house or whatever it is. We don't have that anymore. And that increased the advantage of us to earn much more as our profit margin will have increased drastically. So that is the concept of information product business. And I feel, for me, I feel more excited doing this business than selling this, right? And the reason is this, because I know that when I'm in this business, in the information product business, I can transform someone's life. And I've done that so many times. So many of my students have made so much money. Some have even quit their jobs. There are a few, not all of them, a few of them became millionaires, but they work hard for that, spend a few years to build their brand, build their business, and so on. So I know that I'm creating impact to my customers. Now, if I sell this, yes, my customer may be happy with this, that they can wrap their thing and solve some problem, but it is not life-changing for that matter. All right, so I just want to welcome you into the information product business, right? And now let's move to the next part. The strategy here, it is about generating online income. So we need to have a motive. We need to have an objective that we need to have an objective to strive for. So we're not going to say, create a book because we want to be happy. We are not creating a book just to feel, I'm an author right now, but we're creating that to build a digital business. And also for the short term, it is basically to generate online income. That's all we want to do, right? And in terms of generating the online income, I'm going to show you again, like a summary, how income is being generated with a book. Now, but before we jump into this, I want to enhance a bit more about using book as the entry level into a digital product business. You see, when we create a book is very non-threatening. Now, what do I mean non-threatening? So today, if you go out there and then you have a web page and then you sell a book, right? People don't feel too much skeptical about buying a book. They don't have this fear. Like, I mean, imagine they see a course, they see other kinds of information products and so on. Now, not only that, they may think twice whether they want to buy or not because the price is a bit higher than a book, but secondly, some of them never purchased a course before. So a book, it is something that is common to everyone. The fact is that I think everyone has buy a book in their life, all right? And if they don't buy a book, they would have read a book in their life before, unless, they don't go to school at all, which in this modern world and someone who is attending this training probably has gone through some kind of schooling in the past. Now, with that in mind, when we promote a book, it's very less restriction. I mean, there's no friction for someone to buy. And secondly, you don't need to feel like you are pitching. You don't need to feel like you're trying to, less of a better word, trying to hard sell. I mean, if you're going to sell, say, $500 workshop, right? Then, you need to pitch it. You need to tell them how great the workshop is and all this kind of stuff. But hey, if you're going to sell a book, it's like, hey, do you want to buy this book or not? It's very straightforward. So you yourself personally, you don't feel the uneasiness of selling, right? So I hope that sort of makes sense for that matter. So how do you actually make money from a book without trying to make money from the book sales directly? So we promote the book. And once we promote the book, before the customer check out, before they put their credit card details, there will be one upsell. So I call this the before checkout upsell. And after they have purchased the book, whether they want to include the upsell, which is the before checkout upsell, whether they want to include that or not, right? Then they will be presented with upsell number 2. This is after checkout, which means this. They go to the book page. This is the book page. Before they enter the credit card details, there will be an offer for them. I call this upsell 1. This is also called order bump, which you can forget what I just said right now because I will go more in depth about it later on. So don't get yourself confused or overwhelmed of any of these marketing jargons, right? So once it's done, after they purchase this, they will see another offer, and this is called upsell 2, right? Now, this is after the checkout, after they have paid the credit card. And after they have buy this or they don't buy this, then they will go to the thank you page. Again, we will explain more about this later on. So this is basically the most simplest bare minimum funnel for the book. I mean, you can be more creative, you can add more upsells, downsell, all this kind of stuff, but we're not going to do all of those because my mantra is about keeping it simple regardless of how advanced it is and getting started. Then you can fix it, you can improve it, you can tweak it later on. But what's the point of trying to jam everything in and then we get stuck to move for the first step, right? But this is just the funnel. However, the funnel is actually not the most important thing of all. Now, you may hear a lot of marketers talking about funnels and so on, and some make it sound like it's like life-changing thing. I'm not saying that it is not. I think funnel is great and things like that, but I think that the real way of building a business, it is at the back end, right? The funnel, it is something to me, something that is more tactical because you are trying to increase the value of the customer when they check out a product, in this case, when they buy a product. But the real business, it is always built at the back ends. And we'll go more in depth into this and how do you monetize at the back ends. Like for my business model, right? If you've been to my offline events, you will realize many of them know each other. Now, what do I mean by that? Which means that, let's say, John attended an offline event, and then John meet Janet, right? And Janet meets Robert, and Robert will also know John. It seems like everybody sort of like know each other, and there's a reason behind that, right? So when I do my seminars, like twice a year or once a year, it is more like, I kid you not, it is more like a gathering for my customers and my followers, right? And 50% of the people in the room are probably those who have buy something in the past or follow me with my newsletter or in my coaching program. Some are even my private clients, and they will still spend a very little amount of money to come to the seminar. They will still come. They'll spend more money for traveling. They'll be from Singapore. They'll spend more money on traveling. They'll spend more money on the accommodation than the fee for the seminar. Kind of crazy, right? But they will actually do that. Why? Because when they come, not only that we know each other, but they will be there to meet other friends, right? And why I'm sharing this with you? Because my business model has never been of trying to get the most volume of people. I don't do like 1,000 attendees seminar. I just don't do any of those. I do a small size seminars. And because I understand the business model of backends, which means that it is more important to focus on the existing customers and followers and serve them rather than trying to get as many people in your company and so on. So when I do my seminars, many of them will come and then it's more like a gathering because they have met each other in previous seminars or previous workshops and so on, right? So when you focus on backend, whether you're building an online business or offline business, you realize that your life will be less stressful because you're serving less people and at the same time, you're serving the right people. Let me just say this directly. If they don't buy my products, they would have buy someone else's product anyway, right? So you just think it from this perspective. So some people say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to have any backends because I think they have already purchased my product. But if you think again, if you don't offer a solution to them, they are going to go and buy from someone else anyway. I think it's paradigm shift if you just understand this concept alone. And by understanding this concept alone, you will break your pattern of worrying to offer more solutions to your customers, right? You see, when they got started on this path, regardless of what industry or what niche it is, whether it's parenting, whether it's internet marketing, whether it's social media, whether it's investment, whether it's real estate, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's parenting. Now, the knowledge-based industry continues to grow. Like for me today, right now, do you think I've stopped buying stuff? No. Like not long ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago, I think, I just bought another course. And it cost me not much, this one, just about $300, I think, just like a course, right? I'm still buying because I'm in this industry. So if nobody served me, I would have gone somewhere else and buy from someone else anyway, because I need to learn more stuff. Like I am exploring and learning about NFTs, for instance, non-fungible tokens. Now I would invest in learning more about that. So I need to upgrade my knowledge for something new at the same time. And right now I want to enhance in advertising with YouTube. So I could go and try to, try myself, go through YouTube videos to learn about YouTube ads. That sounds kind of ironic. Go through YouTube videos to learn about YouTube ads. Or I could go and find the experts in this industry, in this space, and buy their course, right? And learn from there. Now, obviously, I would choose a shorter path, which is to learn from others who have done it successfully. So there will always be new things that I personally need to learn with. So let's go back here about backend. So this is a mixture of being strategic and tactical. Backend is being strategic, but tactical is by using emails. So where does your backend comes in after the funnel? So if you have your own product, then you can offer more of your own products as the solutions. Like for us, all of our courses, training, and so on eventually lead to our one-on-one personal coaching program. And that is our own product that we offer. So everything, books, courses, everything, it will just lead back to one single program, which is the newbie to expert coaching. And if you don't have your own product, then all you do is affiliate offers. And we will go through more in depth about this later on. So when we do the affiliate offer, the concept here is called borrowed funnel strategy. So instead of you creating your own funnel, how can you borrow other people's funnel that has been proven to be very successful and use those to generate income for you without you actually doing all of the hard work, right? When we are doing this training, I call this follow one system. Now, what does follow one system is? When we are learning about marketing and business, there are like gazillion ways of doing it, right? Seriously, there's this way or that way, there's this way to come up with content, there's that way to produce a book. So there are just way too many methods. My mantra is about simplifying advanced stuff, advanced strategies, and more importantly, is getting started and do something about it. Because when you get started, you can be successful. If you don't get started, it's 0% of achieving anything. If you get started, there's always the 1%. And of course, there's the 100% if you do it and continue to improve upon it, right? So one system means that I want to give you one specific model to achieve this. And my hope is that you will just follow this model and do it. That's about it, right? Don't try to do more things on it, or don't try to mix it with like another system and things like that.